What is going on, guys? So as you can see by the title of the article, this dude here right in the picture, he robbed a bank to get away from his wife, and I'm assuming his wife is this one right next to him. And I saw this article just a while back and I thought that I'd share it, and today is the perfect time to do it, right after Valentine's, so why not, I thought. Anyways, let's just get right into it. A 70-year-old Kansas man took an unusual approach to get out of his unhappy marriage. Lawrence John Ripple entered a Kansas City bank of Larper on September 2nd and handed the bank teller a note saying, "I have a gun, give me money." According to the Kansas City Star, when the teller complied and handed over the cash, Ripple reportedly didn't flee the scene. Instead, he calmly sat in the lobby until a security guard approached him. With complete nonchalance, he allegedly handed the money back to the guard and told him up front that he was the man you're looking for. That's hilarious. The guard called for police and Ripple stayed in the bank's lobby waiting to be arrested. This is hilarious. So this guy honestly was that upset with his marriage that he premeditated this plan and executed this plan just to get out or away from this woman here. I don't know what was going on in their life, I don't know what was going on in their marriage, but I totally want to find out, because if something is going to drive a man to do this, like, it's got to be pretty severe that he wants to actually go to prison simply to get away from his wife. He doesn't even want to see her again, right? He's probably thinking, fuck divorce, right? I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want out, and I want out today. Let's see what else it says. He told authorities he no longer wanted to be in the situation. Court records have yet to show an attorney for the man. It is possible he is intentionally not using a lawyer to ensure he lands in prison. That's funny. Yeah, because one of the things that you can do, and obviously it's not recommended by anybody, and really rarely anyone ever does it, but if you don't get an attorney, there are certain things that you can do to increase your chances of landing in prison, obviously, right? That doesn't take a genius to figure that one out, and I guess that's what he's doing. So that's crazy to me. Like, this guy was having such a bad time in his relationship that he wants to go to prison that badly. That's crazy. Anyways, the main point that I want people to take away from this whole thing is, when you get into relationships or when you get into a marriage or whatever, you know, you're not really looking at the long-term effects on stress and what your mind's going to be going through, right? And rightfully so. No one really does that when you get into relationships, especially young people. They see all their peers getting into relationships and like, fuck, I might as well get into one too. And then a year, 2, 3 years later, they're like, shit, my stress level is like peak levels at 100%. I can't take this anymore, and the relationship fails. And you know, I'll be the first MGTOW content creator to say this, probably. I guess I'm different than a lot of other content creators in this respect, but I'm never, like, if people want to get into a relationship or marriage, you know, I'm never gonna say, or I'm never gonna prevent them from doing that, or I'm never gonna like say, oh no, you can't do that at all, you're scum if you do that. No, I'm not gonna take that approach, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you my personal opinion, and my personal opinion is it's not worth it to get into relationships or to get married. And there's many reasons for this. One such reason is the amount of stress that you're going to be facing. So I will never tell people explicitly not to get into relationships. I will say that, yeah, it's probably not a good idea, but if you want to do it, it's your life, go for it, right? In my personal experience, for me, one of the biggest factors that prevents me from being able to have successful relationships, or even if I was ever going to get married, it would turn out terribly. The biggest thing for me is the amount of stress that I face in relationships, because I put so much energy into making the relationship work. I put so much of my time and effort into making my partner happy, and I'm left feeling empty. I'm left without the desire or the energy or the will to do the things that I want to do. And so me personally, when I get into relationships, I feel drained, and when I feel drained in any aspect of life, my stress level goes up. And I think that's, you know, a common theme for a lot of men. So what I say in these types of situations is, look at what you would be doing in that relationship. Look at the energy that you would be spending, and then say, how could I spend that energy elsewhere? How could I spend that energy benefiting my life? How could I spend that energy making myself richer? How could I spend that energy enhancing the quality of my life? Those are the questions I think men should ask themselves before they actually get into relationships or get married. And obviously, if you do get into relationships or get married, sometimes the stress level is apparently too much to handle and shit like this happens. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you had any experience in relationships or marriage, and how do you handle the stress level that you get? Do you handle the stress level? Do you not handle the stress level? Do you just say, fuck it, I'm not dealing with this anymore? You know, what advice would you give young people? Those are the kind of comments I like to see. I think they're really constructive, and they help other men on the channel that when they read these comments, they get some extra advice other than my own, because obviously I'm going to miss out on a lot of things when I talk about them. So apart from that, there's not much else I can say on this topic. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.